Good morning, Magic! I'm Gavin Verhey from Wizards of the Coast, and rounding out our 5 families, we have the Brokers of New Capenna. These white, blue, and green lawyers come descended from the old Capenna Paladins, and have plenty of protection magic to protect you, or themselves. The Brokers mechanic are shield counters, a special kind of counter which has inherent meaning. Before getting to my preview card, let's take a look at Disciplined Duelist here. It's a 3-mana, 2/1 double striker that enters the battlefield with a shield counter. If it would take damage or be destroyed, instead, you remove the counter. It's like a one-time protection shield. They even survive things like board sweepers, provided they destroy and not exile. It's a deceptively powerful ability I think everyone slowly learned the power of while playing the mechanic internally, and I think you'll find how strong it is as well. It's really not unlike something like Undying or Persist, where the creature comes back once it dies, just in this case it stays on the battlefield. And both Undying and Persist have seen a lot of play. One interesting design story has to do with the name Shield for these counters. The creative team looked into a bunch of names and really felt Shield was the best creative name, both explaining what the mechanic did and flavorfully for the mechanic. However, there is a weird quirk. The card Palliation Accord from original Ravnica block gained shield counters. We ultimately stuck with the name shield counters because naming an entire mechanic of a current set shouldn't be beholden to a counter type on a mostly unplayed card from coming up on 2 decades ago. Wait, Dissension was nearly 2 decades ago? Anyway, as a result, when Streets of New Capenna releases, Palliation Accord will get errata to maintain its current functionality by using Palliation counters instead. This maintains the functionality this card has always had. I know some of you have been wondering about this one, so there's a fun little story for you. But enough about old card stories. Let's get on to new cards with my preview card for today, Dapper Shieldmate. This rather dapper creature is 3 and a white for a 2/2 that enters with a shield counter, and on your turn, it gets +2/+0, making it a 4/2. This tells you to get on the offensive with your shielded creature. One thing to watch out for with creatures that have shield counters and more than 1 toughness is that any damage will remove that shield counter. So if your Dapper Shieldmate tangles with their 1/1, that will knock your counter off. Good to keep in mind, and make spells that can deal 1 damage in this format more valuable here than normal. Shield counters are a pretty good deal, and today's song off the New Capenna official soundtrack is called A Deal You Can't Refuse by Christina V and M. Young. I've brokered a deal to listen to part of it. Let's check out a smidge.
Dotted line. Make you a deal you can't refuse. Alone or safe with us, I'll let you choose.
You can find a link to the full song in the description down below. Well, that does it for 5 preview cards and 5 crime families. How about we open some cards next though? Join me tomorrow as I bust a booster box of New Capenna and tell you all kinds of tales from it. You won't want to miss this. But until then, may you and your deck both be plenty shielded and dapper. You got this. Jaxus, the Troublemaker. You can cast it normally for 3 and a red, but for 1 and a red, if you cast it for its blitz cost, it gains haste, and when it dies, you draw a card, which is going to happen, given that it goes away at the next end step. A few things about blitz. First of all, you still draw a card even if the creature dies in combat. So if you blitz Jax,